BFX, it's about securing a top matchup where Clear can survive, getting a pick for Diablo where he can carry, and a pick for Raptor where he has agency. Because I think in the games where Raptor's had agency, he's really been able to take off. You know, the big ones for me was like the Lee Sin game, right? Yeah. He's really able to make a lot of impact. Also, the Pantheon game was able to get things going a good amount as well. I think bot lane 2v2 also pretty important. So I think bot lane is a point of contention for both sides. But yeah, safety for top I think important for BNK FearX. Sion is available, but Sion has actually been struggling in the LCK Cup, not been winning as many games you'd be thinking. But there's a lot of picks off the cards now, so maybe they'd feel safe to go for that. The Cannon's available, which is something that Clay's had a lot of success in his career on. I just don't know how confident he's feeling on it right now, considering how this matchup's been going.
We have a lot of stuff banned, as you can tell by the middle of your screen.
A ton of stuff. Closer's not going to get to play Yone. Katam's not going to get to play Ziggs. And Diablo's not going to get to play much of anything at this rate. With 8 AD carries out the pool and 2 more banned already, the pool is already getting thinned a good amount.
Yeah.
To be honest, I started to think about things like Kai'Sa.
Aphelios.
Yeah. I think with how chaotic these games have been, I think Kai'Sa just has a lot of value.
Sound better, yeah.
And also fits with how BNK FearX want to play. The Aatrox ban is interesting. I was genuinely thinking we could see like a Sion pickup for BNK FearX and Dudu would just slam Aatrox. The Aatrox ban makes me think they do just want Sion for clear.
I was wondering if they were going to leave Rumble up, which would have been crazy, but maybe they would have had some kind of counter.
They're just going to first pick Sion. Ban Aatrox, pick Sion. They're like, we are that
desperate.
Yeah, well, did they have tank top laner?
Oh, do it. do it.
I mean, they're under no pressure to pick something for Dudu right now. You can scope out the rest of the composition and you can go in a different direction. Pick jungle, pick support. They're going to go for the Rel. So they're set on getting good engaged with Peter. And he had a pretty fantastic performance on the Rel previously. MF I'm less convinced by. I know the pool is getting short with 80 carries, and MF Rel is a strong team fighting combo. But you're going to struggle to cut through that Sion if it does end up going in the later stages of the game. But again, we did talk about emphasis in the bot lane 2v2. This does respect a certain amount of weight to it. The fact that you are dealing with not only a strong level 6 all-in, but a lot of lane power in the MF. And Aphelios Thresh, I think, is a good response. Thresh can peel a lot of the threat from the Rel. And Aphelios has a decent amount of range to match. Jax comes in. Will it be jungle? Will it be top? We don't know for sure. Has a little bit of flexibility. Probably top lane, I would assume, but just a little bit of flexibility to keep you guessing. Definitely something that Dudu can take over on, though. Did see it building the Dusk of Dawn with the AP build has been played. And we see the Neferi ban come in. It did get buffs on this patch to the jungle monster damage. So honestly, with the amount of bans coming through in the jungle, I think it could have made sense.
Yeah, we're definitely going to cut down on the jungle quite a lot here. Both teams essentially not picking it just yet. Still could be flexed by DNS. And really have to go down the line. I do wonder if Pyosic's Hecarim will be a consideration.
I wonder if, like, when you look at the composition DN Supers have right now, I was going to say Malphite could be a consideration, just based on the fact that you have, like, the MF and the Rel into an Aphelios, specifically an Aphelios with a tank top. Like, if you get caught in that combo, it might just be lights out. But it will get banned away by the DN Supers. BNK FearX trying to decide here. I think in terms of mid, there's still... Well, they're going to take the Jace anyway, but there's still, like, Syndra open. There's still...
Victor,
Galio.
Yeah.
These are the sort of mids we've started to see at this sort of stage.
Closer gives the nod.
I mean, if they want to keep the flex potential of the Jax alive, then you could just pick mid here. Or if there's a mid you really want to prioritize, Otherwise, you could just take jungle.
Rammus. Rammus
So,
for Pyosik.
This is something Pyosik did play back when he was on KT in the LCK a while back, and I think he did win that game. When you're playing into an Aphelios, specifically an AD carry who you can jump on and just force him to attack you, it can be disruptive, but you know, a Thresh obviously makes it a little bit difficult to reach him. Interesting to see this one come out. It's not a Rammus support, thankfully. Grateful for that. The Galio does end up coming through, and honestly, that's actually a little concerning to me because you are all in on the Aphelios basket, and you're playing into like Jax, Rammus, Rel. These are not things that give you a lot of freedom.
What is he gonna play? Like Lilia? You don't want to play Kindred. Zac?
Oh no,
that doesn't do damage.
Yeah, this is like, I mean, I know Galio can build more AP, but this is like 4 tanks and an AD carry, and you're into Rammus Jax.
Yeah.
You know, when Jax counter strikes,
look at Pyosik.
You're just not dealing damage for like that portion of the fight. Rammus as well ends up having crazy value into this. Yeah. And now in the mid lane, I love the small. This is such a good pick.
It's perfect.
This is such a good pick.
It's beautiful.
Smolder into all these tanks. It just means that if we go late, unless DN Supers monumentally flub.
You see Odin put his hand on the other coach's shoulder. He's like, "Good job, buddy."
Yeah, unless
we won this one.
Unless the DN Supers monumentally flub, Smolder just becomes so hard to mess up in this game. And the thing is, they actually changed Smolder, so they nerfed the crit scaling quite a bit. IE is no longer that good on him. You don't need to build crit, because we went through sort of, when Smolder came out, you weren't really building crit, then they forced you to build crit. Now you don't really build crit anymore. One of the popular builds you can go on him, you can just go Bruiser Smolder. You can go Bruiser Smolder on this game. Sion and Zac can be sitting on top of your face, and they just cannot kill you.
Yeah.
And you can just spam Qs.
And you will destroy them, because you're Smolder.
You will melt them.
Yeah.
Like, that is a viable thing to do, and there is literally nothing they can do. They can bounce you around, and you can just press Q and melt them. It gives you so much margin for error. So I think DN Supers, they got a lot of tools that are going to make this easy. I think for the side of BNK Fearex, they need Diablo to be strong, and they need early momentum, or it's going to be a tough one.
They need a lot of things to go right for them with this one. And we'll see if Vikla can deal damage alongside, as everybody is praying and hoping, as we have a slight delay before we get into game number 5. I am
I'm ready. Also, this is, I'm gonna be honest, this is the Game 5 Fearless we always dreamt about.
Yeah.
You know, we always talked about the potential for Game 5 Fearless, and I feel like we didn't always get it lived up to. Sometimes we get Game 5 Fearless where it's just like, oh, well, these are kind of normal picks.
Yeah.
Rammus in the jungle, Smolder mid, I mean, we've seen Smolder mid lane before, but the Smolder into 4 tanks, this is why Fearless is a thing.
Yeah. It's going to be a lot of fun, and also, I feel like as you get deeper and deeper into drafts, the ability for teams to outdraft and find cool niche picks that totally warp a game, like the Smolder last pick here, is really cool. Get to see it coming in, as do have a bit of an audio issue.
We're just building suspense.
Yeah, I mean, the music's still going, so.
I think DN Super's feeling pretty good with what they have in the draft.
Pyosik hasn't stopped smiling since, well, I guess he did now, but.
My question is, what do you build in the app? I assume you're not going to go like the lethality build into all these tanks. Probably just a more traditional crit build. Not the best tank shredder, but still not the end of the world. I think that's why it's so good they have the Smolders like the backup.
Yeah.
To help cut through.
They have a Smolder, and they have Jax. And it's Dudu playing Jax.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, maybe in the solo lane against Sion, it's going to be difficult to cut through, but eventually will get very scary to deal with for Diablo specifically.
I think the main thing is just like if BNK Fearx get a lead, in the mid game specifically, they're going to struggle to cut through the bulk. And that's when the tanks still have high base damages, and you don't really have pen, Small doesn't have the stacks for the burn. That's the point where I think you can't just comp diff them. Yeah. So that's the delicate point of the game. But I think as the game goes on, unless you really mess things up, I think you should just be able to protect your Smolder and have him spit on them.
Sneeze on them.
Yeah. That's what he does.
Mom over.
Yeah.
What is that? Is that a doo-doo missile?
Yes?
That's a doo-doo missile!
It's been working.
I think maybe it was... I don't know. All right, it looks like, yeah. I'll just keep going is what this sign says, essentially.
One more game. I mean, it would be huge if they managed to get it, if they get the upset.
Yeah. Nobody would have predicted this. Everybody expected BNK to take the win. And now DNS set themselves up for just an excellent Game 5. Like, it's going to be hard for me to see it, but crazier things have happened. Let's hop on the riff right now. Alrighty, silver scrapes here in our first best of 5 of playoffs. DNS versus BNK. And if BNK end up losing this, I'm sure there's going to be a couple of moments where they really are going to be kicking themselves.
Was that a good trade for Closer? Honestly, it was about even, but he got stacks.
Oh, for Closer, yeah. I was going to say for Vikla, it's not a good trade.
Oh.
I like the trade for Closer.
Okay, yeah. I mean, he gets stacks.
Your ability on.
Anytime he gets stacks, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Got stacks?
Yep.
We will be heavily stack tracking this game. First dragon is Ocean.
So apparently chat is saying that you really need to focus up Ox and make sure we don't have another Chemtech Soul.
I'll do my best.
I mean,
my best.
Chemtech Soul for BNK would be very strong.
Yeah.
Very, very strong. I'm not sure if it helps against the Smolder in the very late game, so there's also... Okay, this is... Yeah. I mean, this is kind of what you would expect to happen.
I think that one of the things about Smolder is people think scaling champion equals weak early. Especially into melee's mid, you actually have a lot of trading power and a lot of harass. Kind of annoying to deal with. Bot lane not going so hot. Doctor eats that hook. I think Peter could have timed his W better because you can actually eat the hook as you're dismounting, and then he would have been the one to soak it. But let his AD carry take it. But now we're seeing a gank angle. They should go for Kellen.
Yeah, they know that Raptor's on the top side of the map. Diablo just trying to kite this one out. He does not even flash. He knows he's dead. First blood given over to Peter of all of them. Kellen is going to be able to taxi out and just flash away just to make sure he gets out. But that is flash, heal, cleanse, all gone. And they knew Raptor was top.
I said they should go for Kellen because I thought Diablo has cleanse. He's further away, but Peter finds a great engage, and they actually managed to get him. So a pretty good job there, able to find the angle. And baiting the cleanse early, and the summons from Kellen put spot lane in a good spot, when that was the lane that was kind of suffering the most.
This is even worse than like Ahri versus Akali or any of those matchups. We also had Doran's ring taken here by Vikla, so it's not like he does the same build as something like an Akali or Ione would, other melee champions in the mid lane. So just kind of has to suffer and go back, pick up a Dark Seal, get the refillable. As we take a look at the replay here in the bottom lane.
Yeah. The thing is he cleansed the stun from Peter, and then just had no cleanse to get out. Peter does give Kellen an out. I think maybe he would have to burn Flash otherwise. I mean, have to burn Flash anyway. So maybe he just would have died, to be honest, is actually the takeaway from the situation. But a good hook to get him out.
Raptor's an honest junk. Well, I guess he did steal the blue. But he's just been farming. He didn't gank bot at level 3 this time.
Yeah.
He's playing Zach, so makes sense. Just trying to farm up as much as possible. Pyosik will be a little bit behind because he did go for the bottom lane gank. And the last time we saw it was Pyosik against Cuz on KT.
I mentioned that.
As you mentioned.
Yeah, I remember him playing it. And it was a successful game. Good times. What a throwback.
And it was Quantum Freaks Cuz as well. And now Pyosik's on the DN Supers. The team that
was on KT.
Yeah.
Wow, the switcheroo.
The last time we saw Jungle Jax was Quantum Freaks Cuz.
Jungle Zach said Jax.
What oh, Jax. Zach, yeah.
Zach, yeah.
Well, that was a loss against Lucid. I think that was Lucid's debut year as well, 2024. Dudu getting in there, and guess who's here once again? It's Pyosik up in the top lane. Clears like, when will my misery end? I think it's not going to be tonight, buddy.
Nicely tanked as well.
Yeah, very nicely tanked. He gets a grasp stack, but that is going to be huge for their side, as now Closer will be forced to flash away, so they get something out of him. Meanwhile, we got to trade in the bottom side. We do have the Lantern coming in, but Diablo has to just kind of flash away. That hook is insane! And now Duck Dom, they're just going to have to take that kill. Kellen will, but excellent setup. Very deserved. Here does come Raptor. Gonna say, I am getting into the party as well, trying to flash out double kill, and Diablo's just gonna take the turret. Does get executed at least.
What a scrappy bot lane 2v2. Honestly, I thought there was some mistakes there from BNK4X initially, but Kellen just laser focused with those death sentences. We'll see the replay of the top lane. This is, well, there's not much you can do here. I will say, nicely done by Pyosik. The extra resist as well means you can tank this tower for quite a while, gets Dudu out safely, no chance of return kill here though. So, Diablo's getting chunked, and then he gets lanterned into the rel and has to flash the stun. Not ideal. But then this death sentence, I think Peter had to move and block it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think second time Peter has not blocked it, and Doctor just wasn't in a position where he could really move away to dodge it. And then the end result is Peter also dies, and the fact Diablo gets executed is like, oh, whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah?
He is unhappy because he stole a second kill. And we got another play in the bottom lane. Looks like Duck Dom not very long for this world. Down he will go. Another play set up here on a Peter as Kellen is just throwing out the hooks left and right.
BNK4X have one carry. So it is so important that that carry is strong. So I like that they're playing heavily around bot lane. The carry is Diablo, by the way, not Kellen. I want to emphasize that.
Thank you.
So maybe a little bit unfortunate that it's the 201 Thresh and not the 201 Aphelios, but they're at least trying to play around their Aphelios. Yeah, Zach, I mean, I feel like once you got a few points in your jump, the range is just so hard to deal with.
I mean,
Peter forced out here.
They don't have sums. They're pushing up to a turret with Zach and Thresh on the enemy team.
Peter only just upgraded his supply him. It just came through now. So it's so hard pre-supply him to get the proper ward coverage to see where the Zach's coming from. It's tough.
I just feel like, especially if you don't have vision there, you gotta play a little bit safer.
Yeah. Closer has no flash, but I think as a smolder, you shouldn't really get threatened here.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's really hard to punish. Just extra movement speed from the flap-flap. Much easier target to go for the MF, who is just a mobile. A lot of movement speed in the passive, but not nearly as much on demand. Closer not crazy amount of stacks yet, but it does really ramp up as you get a little bit deeper.
Yeah, once you get a couple of those breakpoints, you start to stack it really fast, so you can clear waves much faster. You got this cooldowns up as now, looks like maybe we've got Pyosik around. Yes, we do. The stun is going to come down in onto Raptor, but guess who's joining in on the party? It's Vikla down in the bottom lane. They get another couple of kills, and that's what the Galio does.
Yep. This is exactly what BNK4X need to be doing. You know, get that early advantage, transition into a strong mid-game when you still have the damage in your team composition. All the eggs in the Diablo basket. And top lane has been going pretty okay, right? We got the gank earlier, but it hasn't really set Dudu ahead in terms of the general laning, right? He has that kill that's given him a gold lead, but he hasn't run away in terms of farm. So this is looking good so far for B&K FearX, but I definitely think they are on a bit of a timer.
Yeah, it's very good that they're getting the ball rolling early. They're getting even their Zac online. Raptor has 4 assists. He's level 7. He's doing pretty well for himself to get tanky in that mid game before the Smolder's online. And we know that Duckdom's not going to be doing much of anything at all. I mean, eventually he'll get his BT, and hopefully Peter can make some kind of play happen. But again, he's going to be mostly shooting tanks unless he somehow finds Diablo.
Yeah. I mean, it's just the Galio that makes this play so hard to deal with. I think they should have been clued up when he moved from mid. I mean, fortunately, Pioshi can just leave, but it's still 2 easy kills, and they go to the right people. Not to Kellen again.
Very cool.
The slam down.
Yeah. And we're fighting again. This time Pioshi gonna ult on in, and everybody's caught up in this one. They get Diablo with the ult. Raptor trying to jump away. We got a TP coming in from Closer for some reason.
It was a weird TP.
I don't know what that's gonna do.
A very late
Maybe they can
TP.
swap. They're still trying to close the gap onto the Zac, but that's difficult to do.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice they counteract the play and they get the kill. That's fine. But the TP was weird. It was very late. You wouldn't really assist it. You're a Smolder. You know what your job is? Farm stacks. Once you have stacks, then you can do things.
Yeah. They really need him to be online as soon as possible.
Yeah, and the more stacks you get, the easier you can just one-shot waves.
Yeah.
This is a very melee-focused composition that are going to struggle to siege if you can just queue a wave and one-shot it. So keep farming stacks. That's your job. We're going to see a replay of how this started. Duckdown with the movement speed, able to get away from, I think mainly getting away from Kellen, so Kellen can't really set up on him. And then the engage comes in, and no sums on Duckdown just means he just dies. To the MF ult and the double ult from Pioshi Peter.
It's so strange. Like, he TP's kind of after Diablo was 100% dead as well. Maybe he thought Vikla was going to ult in. Not sure. Duckdown might just be dead. Okay, he has his flash. That's a nice little collection of that. So, pretty interesting. As we do have, once again, Closer back to doing his job, which is attack Vikla with abilities, get stacks, clear waves. But Raptor, very active here on the Zac. Looking to once again go mid here, but again, it's Smolder. Looks like he might be going the... I thought maybe it was going to be Proto Belt, but he doesn't have the other part of it. But yeah, he's got kind of a whole
mix-up.
Smorgasbord.
Yeah, and Vikla going Sunfire... I feel like you need damage.
Yeah, I thought 100% he's going AP. I don't think they needed a third real tank against Smolder. Like I just don't think that's really. That just doesn't make any sense.
That logic doesn't check out for me.
Yeah.
It's like we'll just get more tanks against them. And the thing is as well, there's a decent amount of mixed damage between. I mean, Smolder does so much true damage, but has some AP damage too. Jax has AP damage. It's not going to be the AP Jax, though. It's going to be AD Jax. So, stacking armor is good, right? I say as we have a Hollow Radiance from Clear.
What did he mean by this?
But stacking armor, like the boots from Vikla, they're great. Like, you definitely should have bought those. That's completely fine. But the Sunfire Cape, I'm not as convinced. We do, though, get the Essence Reaver from Closer, and that Ruby Crystal indicates he's going for a Bruiser build, which I think is the right call. If you go Bruiser on Smolder this game, they're just never going to have the damage to kill you.
Yeah.
You're just going to be able to, like, Q them.
Unless you're tanking enough Elios.
Yes.
Which shouldn't
Elios
happen.
is the only one who's going to be able to kill you. Everyone else, unless you're literally... The entire enemy team has jumped on top of you and you are actually trolling with your positioning, you're going to be completely fine. It's going to be so, like... Zac can jump on you and you can survive a full combo and then just Q him back and he'll melt.
Yeah.
If you go like a squishy build, yes, you'll do a lot of damage, but you're Smolder, you already do true damage burn. You don't need more damage. You just need to live.
That's what is going to be trying to do. I can imagine a world where maybe there's enough CC chained into him if he's out of position where he dies.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Like, that can end the fight.
If he's out of position, he will die, right? That can happen, right?
But really, that's kind of the only scenario that I can envision.
Yeah, but the thing is also his Q, the burn damage scales with AD. So even with the Bruiser build, you can have a ton of AD. He still does loads. Now they are set up for this dragon.
Yeah. DNS not trying to get too far behind on these dragons. That sentence is going to miss. And just trying to set themselves up for more stacks. Maybe a smite steal. Not going to happen. Some stacks are coming out, though. Clear. Trying to tank up in the front. Here comes Vikla. Very nice backline access. Is ducked on. Just not going to play the game. And the Smolder's not online yet. And he's going to fail the flash as well. And Diablo's able to get on in there and take him down. And just like that, Dudu also not really in a position to deal damage just yet. So they're going to have to back off the play, and BNK in a good spot still.
Pretty poorly played by DNS overall. I think the setup wasn't particularly good, and they end up kind of getting bullied out of that one. Second dragon goes over to BNK4X, and it's an Infernal Soul. So the stats...
Really trying to force this. Very nice dodge on the counter-strike by Vikla. Giga forced.
Yeah.
And that's never really going to work out. Diablo's Cleanse. Dosik not able to force that.
Yeah. It's Infernal Soul. The stats are not very good for BNK4X, like the AP 80, but the damage actually is very useful. We can talk more about that after this fight. So Peter wasn't really able to find a great angle, and also Close, I think, wasn't really able to do much here. Gets jumped on. Funnily enough, does actually get dragged out of the queue from the Scion.
Yeah.
But Diablo just kind of rushes away from the backline because he's getting threatened. And they, as you said, Closer fails the flash, and the rest of DNS just kind of disengage. So nothing really comes from it. They don't get the smite. But as I was saying about the Infernal Soul, so the AP and AD, not very useful for tanks, but the damage that you get is really useful for a low damage composition. Like if Zac is jumping in, or this tank Galio is going in, and you get the extra Infernal Soul burst, very valuable for a team who, frankly, needs as much damage as they can get.
Yeah, that's definitely going to help, especially on lower health targets. The Smolder's not going to be super low health, but you can maybe burst down in MF or something like that. Taunt does come down here on a Kellen, but no follow-up.
I mean, if you dive in and you get a couple of Infernal Soul procs, and that's the difference between them living and dying.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. That's the flap. Yeah. Well, if you do this, you're not going to live, as we do have the Rammus coming over, and maybe he actually does live. They don't quite have the damage, and finally, Raptor takes him out, but had to use everything. So we'll have to wait and see if they can actually kill him under the turret. Okay, Flash comes in, and Peter says absolutely not. Gets the shutdown.
Yeah. Close just using the flap unnecessarily. You know, that is your defensive tool. Used it for a bit of poke onto Clean to get stacks. Don't do that. don't flap in front of a Scion. So unneeded, unwarranted. They do get the kill back in return. But yeah, I mean, that's literally what he's doing. He's
he almost
stack
still
farming.
lives, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. So if he had that, he would have lived.
He lives 100%.
Yeah. So, a little unfortunate, but some good response from the team.
I think this is his reaction to get the kill.
He has 3 now, 3 of the 4 for the team. So obviously not feeling fantastic about him having all those.
Yeah.
Closer is not too far away from the stack threshold. The thing is, this early, he doesn't have that many items. He's not going to suddenly get it and be like, I am shredding. But it does make a big difference. But does need to keep stacking, does need to keep getting items if he wants to be that really relevant threat as the game goes on. This is still the mid-game point where the tanks are just too thick to cut through.
Yeah. Still easy targets for Closer to stack on. I do think that if they had taken a couple of fights a little bit more slowly, or just a little bit more smart, maybe they would have been able to just keep stacking, not die as much, and maybe it wouldn't feel as threatening.
Yeah, the problem is now we have Dragon in 50 seconds, you're 4,000 gold down. This is prime time for BNK4X that I think you're going to struggle to contest. But it doesn't feel good to give over the Dragon either, so...
Yeah. Diablo's going to love them, so there's at least the one guy who gains a lot from the scaling, at least, of the Infernal Soul and the Drakes. Got him. Sad Pyosik.
Yeah. Two items as well on Diablo compared to just the one in pieces for Docdam. Also Closer kind of sitting on not much.
I guess they're going to try to dive the Scion once again. That's the block on that. And they say, well, we zoned him away. That's good enough.
I think this is the right call to lean away. The question is, can they defend the towers here at the same time?
Docdam still pretending like he's real in this game. Going to take a little while for that to happen. Trying to avoid the flay. Just rolling around.
Yeah, so hard to get through the Thresh. We'll just be dragging for BNK FearX. I think it's the right call for DNS just to give it up and stall it out. They do get some gold on the top side from this. Dudu getting strong, but trying to just take a better time to fight. The smolder condition, getting the threshold to 225, you absolutely want that before you fight again. You're so close to it anyway. That's an absolute minimum.
Yeah, and the stacking very fast, obviously, now that he is above 175, 125, and he is chilling, farming. And BNK, yes, they get the Drake, but especially in this meta, you know, we've talked about a decent amount, but, you know, it's not like BNK are ever going to be forcing down the Baron. I mean, they do have an Aphelios. Maybe if DNS are very out of position, they could try for it, but it's going to take a while, and that's just going to give extra scaling to DNS.
I mean, it'll be slow, but it's also very safe in terms of, as much as it shreds them, they're very tanky. So they can tank the Baron a lot easier than some other comps, especially with a Zac who does have so much sustain. I'm not saying they can sit on it forever, but there are some comps where like 10 seconds of Baron feels very long.
Yeah.
This is not one of them. Smolder does have the stack threshold.
Okay, we're trying to make a fight happen here, it looks like. Diablo is frontlining, has a Thresh, but guess who is behind him? It is Ajax, right on top of him, down he goes, and nobody can touch the backline of DNS now. There's nobody that does damage, and they're all just running away. We do have a Lantern to come in. They're kind of failing at denying those. They don't quite have the wards, but they're going to use that ward to get over the wall, I suppose, as Dudu continuing to hunt them down. Nice hook here on a Closer, but yeah, they just can't really kill him, as maybe now with the Galio coming in, okay, they're finally going to get it done, as the dead Scion doing a lot to Dudu here, but now with the tank Galio, he really can't do much at all, as the death sentence, okay, is going to come in, but once again, it's the Dudu show. Left until the very end, picking up all the kills and shutdowns.
Such a messy fight in the end, but it's a big influx of gold for DNS, and I think they're happy with how it turned out. Would have wanted it a bit cleaner, but they start off with this engage on a Diablo. He's getting flanked by the Jax, so it's such an uncomfortable position here. Closer has to immediately flash back, and then the chase begins. That tower being gone, the tier 1 for BNK FearX not being available, means that DNS are like, we can just keep going, right? They flash over. BNK FearX are like, we're out, but Dudu's like, no, we're taking more. And you see Closer's like determined, I need to get the damage in. Gets the Q onto the Scion, but then eats a ton of CC in return. Gets the Q on the Raptor for the burn, but also this just means he dies to Viklan. Suddenly the damage just feels a little bit less real after that. Docdam kind of gets exploded. Kellen with these death sentences, by the way, has been crazy. But it's a lot of gold coming in good places. Dudu is very strong. Closer has his second item completed. Docdam second item as well. Like, yes, the gold lead is kind of similar, a little bit less, but both teams got very accelerated from that, and that's good for DNS.
Yeah. Acceleration for everyone except Docdam. But he's doing his part, you know. Peter gets an engage. He can try to throw an ult in there, but honestly, the MF from this far behind not going to be able to do too much. He can spread the grievous wounds pretty nicely.
That's true.
But yeah, I like the Zhonya's as well. Picked up here eventually for Dudu because
I at least agree with Docdam's build.
yeah.
you know.
I think it's a good idea.
Although, to be fair, I think you get a lot of value out of Giant Slayer here. There's a lot of Giants on the enemy team.
Well, he says it's not going to make a difference for me. I think it would have a little bit, but
yeah,
it is what it is, as they say. A wise man once said that once.
That is something they say. 1 minute till the Infernal Soul.
They're fighting this time.
Yeah, I think they will be fighting this one. A lot of summoners been in the last fight. No flash for anyone on BNK FearX or DNS. Yoshik will have his ghost soon at least, so that's something. But making that way into this area seems a little bit difficult. Both top laners will have TP, so looking to TP in with that big shield.
Mm-hmm. Clear, just clearing the waves with Hollowed Radiance, and that's his job. And then eventually join the fight, be a frontline. Again, I mean, if they get a CC chain onto Closer, it would be very nice.
Honestly, Closer is so much of their damage. Closer dying, like, if he's just in the fight, landing Qs on people, I feel like DNS can just move target to target and just win the fight. The second he dies, I feel like their comp loses so much steam.
But if he dies and Diablo dies, I still feel like, you know, DNS are in a good spot. Just with their Jax. As BNK is going to try to start this one up. Dudu does have the flank angle. Frontline here is already being burnt. I mean, you got to be careful about standing in front of the Smolder, as he will take you down eventually. Already clear, and Vikla taking a bit of damage. Dudu trying to take a new angle from the top side, it looks like. Just baiting and engage. It always feels like these are so close, as it's going to come down to a smite fight, but it goes to BNK, and Pilsik getting pretty low, as Dudu trying to enter the backline himself, but he's getting pretty low. But look at the Smolder, totally unlocked, and the combo comes through from Peter and from DuckDom. He's doing it. He's pressing his buttons, and Closer will live for now, and he's got the team to back him up. As Zombie Scion making it pretty interesting, but not interesting for BNK. 7k damage goes to the Smolder, but look at the MF damage, 6.5k.
The 0.5 MF value comes through. Peter finds a monster ult in this team fight. Kellen uses all of his tools, and he actually gets taunted. And Peter, look how low Peter's health is, but he finds this angle in. Him and DuckDom get this beautiful combo. And then Closer, he ends up in the mixer, but it just doesn't matter. They don't have the damage to finish him off. He gets so close. And yes, Raptor just respawn and take him out, but his job is done. He was Smolder, he burned people. That's all he had to do.
Yep.
And yes, the Infernal Soul went over to BNK FearX, but I don't know if it's enough in this game. 300 stacks for Closer, third item completed. He's getting scary.
He's getting scary, and so is DuckDom. He's, you know, he's looking at an Infinity Edge next. He's dealing damage if Peter can lock 3 people up for a very long amount of time. Honestly,
if Closer goes LDR next, he will just shred. Like, I mean, he's already shredding, but he will just do absurd damage.
Yeah. The Smolder last pick is just totally warping the game. Like, if it was anything else, I feel like maybe we get somewhat of an interesting game, even with BNK's weird.
I think it was anything else. I think the game was already over.
Comp, yeah.
I think they just wouldn't have been able to come back, and they would have just got shut out. Oh, they found Raptor. Never mind.
He did go belt eventually.
Yeah.
It's very good on the Zac.
I mean, the extra Infernal Soul damage does help when you are diving onto critical members, but now summoners are coming back up.
Dudu, you're on vision.
Summoners are coming back up. Like, Closer has flash, DuckDom has flash, and it is so much more important that DNS have their summoners. Like, it doesn't matter as much for BNK FearX. Like, Diablo having flash is nice and cleanse, but he has Kellen as a safety net, and Kellen has Mikhail's.
Trying to get on top of Diablo. He's going to land that one, but Diablo does get the safety. The MF ult not doing nearly as much. We got a root coming down on a Closer, desperately trying to get out of there, but that means he's not dealing damage. Kellen trying to make a play here on the Dudu.
Jungler down. That should be the signal to go for Baron. And they try and overforce there. They try and rush it onto the Aphelios. They don't find it. And now they have to try and contest this Baron without their jungler. Vikla's on the angle.
Yeah, not going to be easy. We don't have any unsealed spellbook either. Dudu trying to take the long way around, but this Baron already getting pretty low. And Dudu's going to be spotted, taunted up, does go into the counter-strike. Makes it interesting. People are beginning to burn, but the smite will be there. Duck Dump in a bit of trouble. Jax already went down, and Closer doesn't have anyone in front of him. And that means that this fight will be all BNK all the way. Double kill does go the way of Diablo. And feeling pretty good about that.
Just when we thought maybe DNS had hit critical mass, a big mistake comes through, and DNS had hit critical mass. BNK FearX answer back. We see Pioshik going so aggressive here, but it's into a Thresh with the Mikhails. He just cleanses him out of taunt, gets him out of dodge. Devil forces Closer out, and then Uramis is so overextended. This was such a force for no reason. You can play slow. You can play front to back. I know they have 4 tanks. You have a Smolder. And then again, they're trying to rush onto the backline onto Diablo. They're like, we have to kill the 80 carry. Just burn the tanks.
Just provide a front line for Closer.
Yeah.
And you will win the fights.
Yeah. They rushed into it so much, so... and it's why this Aphelios Thresh is so potent. You know, you have the peel, you have the protection. Now, pushing with the Baron, it's a huge gold lead for BNK FearX.
And the same note, you know, Diablo, he's pretty fed at this point in time, and, you know, eventually the counter-strike goes down. Eventually, the Celestial opposition is not there, and if Diablo's free hitting, there's no real threat onto him, and he has a front line, then he will also shred. It's not quite going to be, you know, Smolder into tanks level of damage numbers, but he's absolutely going to be pumping out huge numbers if he can actually stand and shoot them.
Yeah. Also, LDR not going to come through before Elder for Closer. And as much as the burn is percentage HP and it does a lot of damage, it takes a while to cut through when you actually think about it. Like, if you're, like, queuing clear, it actually does take a while to cut through the Scion's health. Like, look at him, he's queues the Scion. Like, it does actually take time, right? It's always going to cut through eventually, and especially because you can AoE this front line, it's great. But it's not as simple as just, like, hit the tank and they just die in a second. And I think DNS now trapped in their base are going to struggle to approach this Elder without getting any vision.
Yeah, somebody's got to do it. But even Pioshik at this point feels pretty squishy. You can see that the entirety of BNK is just trying to cut out as much vision as possible. That's really the game plan here. Taunt's coming in, and, you know, he started out with the Sunfire, but he went full AP after that, did Vikla. So he's actually dealing a bit of damage. And Dudu has to back off the play. Looks like he wants to TP into the fight. And they will have to fight this one. Nice dodge on the death sentence, and here we go. Deep TP comes in. Jonas Strong showing off that ward earlier on. And Clear just trying to buy time in the front line, but he's already almost half health to the Smolder, so got to be careful about that one. Vikla kind of by his lonesome on the left side, but he is going to get away. Engage comes in. Dudu's in the back line. Diablo's not really hitting anything right now. They're going deep on a Closer, but they can't touch the Smolder. And Dudu's buying
Jungler down! Jungler down!
Jungler is down! And yes, Diablo's up, but like, all they gotta do is hit the Elder and smite it! And that's all they gotta do!
Smolder gets it!
Smolder somehow! But just like that, the real Elder Drake shows his true colors, pulls off the fight 32 minutes in, and aces them.
And that should be enough. 30 seconds, they're gonna try and push the mid-wave up. There's a lot of structures left.
Yeah.
Maybe. They have the MF, they have the Jax. They're gonna try. We'll see if they have the time to do it. DNS looking to end the series here. I think Zach's gonna be up in time. Threshes as well.
Dude's eating a lot of damage. I don't know.
I don't think they can end.
They're gonna try. Okay, here we go. Peter trying to tank it up.
He's just gonna die.
Yeah, he's just gonna get executed, I guess. In goes the Zac.
No.
Dudu's
This is a mistake.
dead.
This is a mistake.
It's already dead. And don't.
What are they doing?
No! Not like this. Those Nexus turrets respawn now. And they're just TPing bot.
40 seconds. Closer has to solo defend.
Well, at least it's Closer. Okay, well,
If he gets caught, it's over.
Yeah, he's going to have to flash. He can't take any chances. No vision in the jungle. Zach was right there.
But he has to thin the waves. He has to thin the waves, otherwise they will just end.
Yeah. 17 seconds left on the Rammus. We got the Rel coming up here. Peter will. Now, do B&K overextend themselves? Looks like they're just going to go for the mid inhibitor and back
enough
away.
of a threat.
Yeah.
And they knew the Rel coming up would buy time. Yeah. The rest of them are spawning. They're not going to do what DNS just did 2 seconds ago. Okay, this was a crazy fight. But the main thing is the tanks dive in, and this is kind of the problem we're starting to see with this composition. They just don't have the damage. They dive on a closer, but they can't kill him. The peel comes in. He gets low, but he just shreds. And in the meantime, the Jax buys so much time between Counter-Strike and Zhonya's, and the Zhonya's buys time for a new Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
Diablo just didn't get to hit anyone. The Smolder secures the Dragon, which is crazy.
He just didn't spike.
Yeah.
Caught up in the moment, perhaps. Not 100% sure.
So both teams took heavy blows to their base. Closes at 400 stacks and does now have that LDR.
And this game is still going.
It's still going.
First Elder.
He has a BF sword. I honestly think Bloodthirster or GA would be a great buy here. I think IE is not that worth.
Yeah.
Because they did nerf how much IE impacts your Q damage. It's not that good. You don't need more damage, just need survivability. So Bloodthirster helps you sustain. GA, obviously self-explanatory. He didn't really go the Bruiser build other than the Shojin. They are on Baron though. You have just given them leeway. I think the damage to their base has kind of forced them into this uncomfortable position, but it's crazy. They won the Elder fight and then they put themselves in this spot. Not ideal, is what I will say.
Yeah, didn't have to do that.
Did not have to do that.
And nobody was forcing them, except themselves.
The voice in their heads. And no, it's not. It's not Coach Comms anymore.
Yeah.
Those don't exist.
If we had Coach Comms, maybe you could go in there and be like, back off right now.
Yes, but, I think that would be a good use of Coach Comms.
Not.
Dr. did it. He did it again, by the way. He went 4th item collector again. He went 4th item collector into 4 tanks, by the way. Someone needs to speak to Dr. about his collector addiction. He is, at this point, it's a compulsion.
I don't know what's going on with that, to be honest. I mean, at least he has IE this time.
It's not okay. Stop buying this item.
Yeah.
A 4th item as well.
I mean, they're trying to, okay.
Okay, it's a cleanse pin. That's pretty good.
You didn't have to stand there.
Good.
You didn't have to burn cleanse. I mean, I know they have Michaelis, but like, come on.
Don't question it, Brendan.
Don't give them free cleanse.
Just be here to appreciate the experience. Oh, Closer's trouble!
Oh no, Closer! Oh, okay. GG. I don't, honestly, I don't know how that happens. Yeah, he just got caught, didn't have flash, trying to clear the mid wave, and the DNS fans are shocked. You see Peter, he's trying to do something, he's just gonna get hooked
up. Look at fast references!
Too fast for himself, I guess. And Diablo, he's got a lot of guys to protect him, and yeah, this is just gonna be the end of the game, guys. Just like that, this game ends in DNS. They could have won it. They could have just won the game, but instead, B&K win in Game 5 Silver Screams.
I cannot believe this series ends in that manner. You know, there's a moment, you know when they started the push on the tier 2 tower, that's the point where you're like, hey, how close can we get?
Yeah.
You know, after they kill the inhib, that's the point where you know, oh, not very, right?
That is the moment where you look and you say, okay, we can't.
Okay, we can't do it. And they kept going. And then they lost their Smolder. And you know that thing I said, where like, oh, Smolder's really good here. The only way you lose is if your Smolder's out of position and he dies. Yeah, well, that happened. And also,
so anticlimactic, too. He got taunted or something, and oh, it was just...
He got jumped. And then we saw Pyoshi coming out of base at like 3,000 movement speed. That was fun, but not really, it didn't do anything.
Yeah.
What an end. Dudu had a crazy series. I really want to...
Yeah, the real POM of this one is actually Dudu, even in a loss.
But it is also Kellen. Can't wait to see it. Can't wait for it to come up on my screen. It's going to come up on my screen. I'm going to feel great about it. It's going to end a great day.
I'm going to guess that Diablo picks it up.
No, it's
That's going to be my guess.
It's 100% Kellen. I'm so confident.
Guess that Diablo gets it. Oh, it's Raptor. Congratulations to Raptor. What a fantastic performance tonight. Honestly, his Lee Sin started it off. His Pantheon was great as well. They got the win there, and then a Zach helping out in the catch of the Smolder. Got them that victory.